Joining us right now is the man who killed Osama bin Laden, former Navy SEAL Rob O'Neill. Rob, thanks very much for weighing in.
Good morning, Maria. Thank you.
Look, I have a problem calling this a lone wolf. Do you really think he set all of this up himself and there's no connection?
Absolutely not.
So I'm not going to call this a lone wolf anymore. I don't know what
how many lone wolves do we have before they're not lone anymore?
Right.
And so this guy had every hallmark of an ISIS attack that they describe online. Get a vehicle that you need to use, have an ISIS flag or a depiction of an ISIS flag, which he did. Leave a note saying that this is for ISIS, which he did. Have a knife so when you get out, you can as much damage as you can put on with the pedestrians that are around before the cops get with a knife, and then you can martyr yourself, which I think is the reason he had the fake guns. He's not going to scare anyone or hurt anyone severely with a BB gun or a paintball gun, but he can die by what they call death by cop or martyr himself and go to paradise. And that's the reason he would do something like this. But it's every hallmark. This is what they're going to do. This is what ISIS is calling for. And now that the Islamic State is pretty much gone in Syria, the problem is now the foreign fighters are going to go back, and the other people that want to avenge what happened to ISIS, their Islamic State that they thought they had, they're going to. This is not the last time this is going to happen. He
had a paint gun and a pellet gun. Yeah. So luckily, the cops are carrying weapons. Who knew what he was carrying from above? Right. Your thoughts? Yeah.
Well, I think it's going to be interesting to find out what the friends knew, what the family knew, if he had connections with terrorists overseas, had he been surveilled in the past.
They should have.
We just don't have a lot of information.
They should have people at the Omar Mosque in Patterson, New Jersey, right now talking to the imam. First of all,
I think they are.
They need to be, and they have been for a while. But I mean, when you get Mayor de Blasio out there saying, "Well, now we'll just continue to be vigilant," why weren't we vigilant before? How many times does this need to happen before we become vigilant?
Right.
It's not if you see something, say something. It's if you see something, make sure you're politically correct.
I will ask you what an acquaintance of mine who spent years trying to get his green card in this country. He asked me this morning. He's from Colombia. He said, "Why was this man in this country on a green card? Why was it so easy for him?"
He was able to get this green card
legally?
because of like a random lottery of getting green cards. I forget the name of it.
The diversity program.
But I mean, it's a random one based on different cultures. Something I forget
it's some
the name.
sort of quota from each country, but we don't even know when he was radicalized. He could have been radicalized within the last year. What I want to know is, was he on anybody's radar screen prior to this attack? Because if he wasn't, if he's just sitting in his basement getting radicalized with the flickering screen of the computer, that's really concerning.
So that's how you think he got radicalized.
But we don't know yet.
Yeah, we don't.
So, Rob, you've seen a lot of these investigations, and you've seen a lot of how people have done these things. How difficult is it for us to respond in terms of an urban center and preventing these types of...
It's extremely difficult, but this is where one of my points that I bring up is we're not going to win this war with bombs and bullets. We need help from the vast majority of moderate Muslims, and they're out there, and they don't like this, and they certainly don't like their religion being dragged in the mud by these fanatics. So we need the people. There are people at this mosque in Patterson, New Jersey, that said, "Yeah, this guy, he never said good morning, he never said good afternoon, he never wanted his picture taken." These are certain things like what's going on with this guy.
So, Rob, you raise a great point, because you know that's part of the ISIS mantra is commit these attacks and then turn people on the Muslim communities within the United States.
Well, of course, if they can split them up, that's right. They did that in Iraq to us when we invaded. That's when Abu Musab al-Zarqawi started ISIS in Iraq so he could start killing Shia. So then the civil war started. And then we're in the middle of it. Which side are we on? If we take a side, the other one hates us. This is stuff they tell us that they're going to do, and we just got to watch for it. But we are going to need the help from the Muslim community, no doubt about that.
So what are they looking at now? Tell us how this investigation is moving.
Well, they're going to check the mosque. Hopefully, they're going to find out with whom he spent time, talk to his family. How many trips did he make to Uzbekistan, if any? Did he go to Syria? Did he go to North Africa? Check out where he went, with whom he was speaking, and you go from there. I mean, with Uzbekistan, we fought these people in Afghanistan, and when we would run into foreign fighters from either Uzbekistan or Chechnya, we know we're dealing with some serious people. And the Uzbeks, they've got the Islamic movement of Uzbekistan, which did pledge allegiance to ISIS.
It's 88% Muslim, that country.
That part of the world. And again, that's not the Middle East. That's Asia. But that's all over there. It's one of those things where this is not a war against Arabs. This is a problem we're having with radical Islam wherever it is.
And you think this is going to happen again?
Yes, no doubt about it.
Rob, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Rob O'Neill joining us there.